Ladies with gentle hands, in this video I'm going to be getting a platinum trophy from every single year since when they were introduced all the way back in 2008 up until the present day of 2025. I've previously done on the channel 30 platinums in 30 days, I've attempted 10 platinums in 24 hours, and I was also the first person to platinum a game from every genre. But this is by far the hardest thing I have ever done on YouTube to date. 18 years of gaming history condensed into pure trophy hunting madness. Buckle up, ladies with gentle hands, because this is me getting a platinum from every year. But before we do start, do me a favor, make sure you hit that like button so at least one thing in this video pops easily, and subscribe if you do enjoy watching people willingly suffer for your entertainment just for digital trophies. I just wanted to say a quick thank you to Volt, one of the moderators of the channel, who suggested this video over in the Discord, so shout out to you, buddy. This idea wouldn't have come to life without you, so thank you very much, dude. So we're starting all the way back in 2008, the year that PlayStation decided achievements weren't just for Xbox players, and that's when the first ever platinum trophies were added to PlayStation 3. It was a much simpler time. You didn't have battle passes, no life service nonsense. It was just you and your 6-axis controller. And I bet you're all eager to know what game I selected for this. I guess the obvious choice, and quite boring choice, would be Uncharted 1. However, I've already platinumed that on the PlayStation 4 remaster, and I wanted to expose myself to games that I haven't yet experienced. So Prince of Persia was the first game to kick off this series, and I started this all the way back on the 21st of July, and I'm only getting round to editing this in December of 2025, so yeah, you can see how big of a grind this was. However, back in 2008, Ubisoft actually experimented with games instead of just assassinating the same creed for 15 years straight, and this Prince of Persia game was supposed to be a reboot, but it didn't really land the way that Ubisoft wanted to. You can see a lot of Assassin's Creed-y elements in this game which are fantastic, and you can kind of see that they've decided to take the series and full send Assassin's Creed opposed to the Prince of Persia series, which is a shame, but I did enjoy Assassin's Creed for a long period of time. Anyway, enough about Assassin's Creed. What do you need to do for this platinum trophy then? Well, it's a 2 out of 10 on difficulty, requires 1 playthrough, and can take you around 15 hours according to PlayStation profiles. One of the key things that I would say here is you can take this game in 2 ways. You can play it through blind and enjoy yourself, or you can do it the optimal way as a trophy hunter. I will say this, doing it the optimal way as a trophy hunter did kind of ruin the immersion, as I was having to use video guides to find the collectibles. And let me just mention now, this game has 1001 collectibles to get. There's no tracking on the map, so you need to either make a mental note of where they are or just watch through with a video guide. I opted to watch through with a video guide each time I went through a new section. There are 4 sections on the map that you can go through, and there's no particular order that you need to follow. You can just tackle them as you please, and within each section it gets you closer to fighting the big boss at the end. There are also a few other trophies to be aware of that, again, if you are going for the platinum trophy on your first attempt, you may need to lock in, and that is because you need to die less than 100 times in the game, and then you also need to be a speed demon for completing the game in less than 12 hours, which again to most people can seem quite daunting, but if you're watching through with a video guide for instance, it may not be too bad. I would recommend that you do play this game and enjoy it the first time round, but I do get that it could be a little bit of a drag if you needed to go and play this for a second time. The combat of this game was fairly straightforward and simple. I enjoyed it though, and as Prince of Persia goes, this game does look really beautiful, and I do think it is a shame that, you know, they've never decided to follow up with this game. I'm not going to spoil the ending. There is a video on the channel already discussing this game and taking you through the full platinum journey, which if you did enjoy and you are interested, I'd urge you to watch that after this video. I think the problem that most people had was that the ending didn't quite stick for a lot of people. I didn't mind it too much. There was, you know, a couple twists and turns, some predictable, some not, but overall I think it was quite good. I think Prince of Persia was a very interesting way to start this series of getting the platinum trophy, and I did actually enjoy my experience despite how daunting it kind of seemed at the beginning. But this platinum trophy was obtained finally on the 9th of August in 2025, and this was officially when the challenge was in full flow. There was no backing out. I had to lock in and platinum a game from every year from this point forward. Oh yes! Oh yes, let's go! Yes, there we go, there's the platinum trophy, Master Prince of Persia. I just had a feeling in that list, the triangle with, is it Elika's moves? Oh, goodness me. I was so ready to just crash out there and find a boss fight. Let's go, baby! That is platinum 1 of this challenge done. Let's continue. Moving on to the year of 2009 then, I decided to play SmackDown vs Raw 2010. This is a 3 out of 10 difficulty, there's only one playthrough and is estimated to take you around 15 hours. Again, there is a video on the channel of my entire suffering of this WWE game, and long story short, I don't watch wrestling, I don't know who John Cena is, I don't know who Randy Orton is or any of the popular people, right? I don't know anything about wrestling.
Okay, maybe the WWE superstar thing was a right turn down bad idea street.
This was a very interesting experience for me, and you got to create your own character, so I decided to base my character off of Logan Paul, I think it was, which is just kind of funny, and I actually enjoyed it. It was a good game, and I've been told it's not a fighting game, it's a wrestling simulator, so people that cooked me on the original video for getting the genre wrong, there you go, it's a wrestling simulator. I did enjoy my time with the game. I thought it was, again, quite interesting and unique for me to try a game out of my comfort zone and learn a lot about it. If you're like me, you don't have any experience with wrestling games or know anything about wrestling moves, let's say, this game is achievable, but it is kind of confusing in a lot of places, I will be honest with you. But to platinum this game, it's not bad at all. You'll need to complete the story mode with your character that you've created, and then there's also races to WrestleMania, I think they titled it, and basically you'll play as different characters such as Edge, Mickey James I think was another one, and you'll get trophies for completing kind of like their story arc of getting to WrestleMania, and there's about 5 or 6 of those. Just to note, within those storylines, you could call them, there are actually collectibles that you can miss, and they're basically in-game objectives that you'll need to complete. Some of these were a lot harder than others, and being somebody that's not very good at wrestling games and not knowing what moves are what, it did take me a little bit longer than expected, but with a lot of perseverance you will get through it. There were a few trophies that were kind of weird, like, you know, using the paint tool and things like that, and creating clothing items and logos. They're kind of hidden behind loads of weird menus, but if you do get stuck on these, you can find some video guides in the deep depths of, you know, PlayStation profiles or true achievements. And then to finish off, before I got this platinum trophy, I stayed up until like 3 AM just trying to complete the training checklist, and there was a couple of moves that I just really couldn't do. And in order to complete the training checklist, you need to basically complete every single move off of this page, and the list honestly goes on and on and on. But finally, at 2 AM, I did get this platinum trophy on PSN trophies profiles. Thank you very much for your help. That is the platinum trophy for WWE. It is bang on 3:30 in the morning. I'm going to bed. This has been an interesting experience. And would I recommend it? I think it was actually quite an interesting experience. As I said, it was quite a good, enjoyable experience. I've been told that I think Legends of WrestleMania is another fairly easy platinum trophy to get. So maybe I'll try that one in the future, because this was enjoyable, and I think people watching a complete noob playing it on my live streams was also an interesting take. If you are into wrestling games and do want a wrestling related platinum trophy, then 100% go for this one. It's not like the modern WWE 2K games where there's a bunch of online trophies you need to suffer through. This is a completely offline experience, and of course, if you do actually know what you're doing in the game, the platinum might actually come a little bit easier for you. Moving on to 2010 then, and this is a game that I was really excited to play, and that is Dante's Inferno. And let me tell you, I did suffer for this platinum trophy. It wasn't the most enjoyable game I found, and if you do want to see my comments on this in a lot more detail, there is a video on the channel as well going through the entire experience. Dante's Inferno is a 2 out of 10, requires 2 playthroughs, and takes approximately 16 hours to do. If you want to enjoy this game, don't watch a guide, just go in blind, play it like that. Of course, if you're doing it optimally, you will need to watch a guide to get the right collectibles and things like that in a certain order. I don't know what it was about this game. I know it's old, I know it came out 15 years ago now, but I feel like, you know, SmackDown vs Raw, even Prince of Persia, like Prince of Persia looked fantastic for a game that came out in 2008. Like, it was so beautiful. And then I get to Dante's Inferno and it's like, it just kind of looked very meh. And I'm not the biggest person on hack and slash games, so maybe it's a genre issue, but I just didn't really enjoy the experience of Dante's Inferno. It generally did send me down to the deepest, darkest pits of hell. For this game and the platinum trophy, you will need to fight your way through the 9 circles of hell. The gameplay kind of slaps if you do enjoy this genre, but it was kind of meh. You need to beat the game and you need to max out both the holy and unholy pathways and collect every single damn soul. Half of the time it did feel like I was doing community service in hell. I can appreciate what this game tried to do, and even if they did edge me to the point of teasing a sequel and then never delivering one.
To be continued? What do you mean to be continued? There's only one of these games. You what? Making of Baby? Special video, let's go.
Would I recommend Dante's Inferno? I feel like a lot of people talk about Dante's Inferno retrospectively of being this, you know, amazing game and a great game and so interesting and things like that. But I feel like a lot of these comments are probably just based on nostalgia and good memories that people might have had 15 years ago when that was peak gaming. I get it, I may get cooked for this opinion, but I didn't rate Dante's Inferno personally, and I wouldn't really recommend it too much. I just think a game that needs you to partially play it through twice and, you know, max out pathways and doesn't really offer anything on the second playthrough doesn't really seem like the best use of my time, and the DLC for this game is actually unobtainable, so you can't get a full 100%. You can get the platinum, but you can't get the full 100% because the DLC requires some online stuff.
And Master of the Inferno. GG's, we have earned another trophy, or platinum trophy, as part of this challenge I'm doing. Dante's Inferno Platinum, thank you very much. My final thoughts were it was okay. It was okay. I thought it was going to be better, but nice to have another platinum off the list.
Moving on to 2011 then, and this is a absolute banger that again I have never even heard of, and that is X-Men Destiny. And I'm sure we can all get pretty hyped with the upcoming Wolverine game coming out next year. There's a new Avengers movie coming sometime soon and there's meant to be X-Men in that. So with all of that kind of hype generating, I thought I would go and play X-Men Destiny. And this game is actually really interesting. It's quite a hidden gem for 2011. I think it was interesting in what they tried to do. It gave you 3 characters where you could basically kind of create your own mutant and, you know, develop skills that you wanted to, and it kind of felt open world, even though it wasn't. It was, you know, you were still forced to go through set ways and missions, but it felt like it was open single player missions, should we say. And a fun little fact about this game, due to copyright disputes not long after the game came out, all existing copies of this game was actually destroyed and then the game was pulled from being sold. I'm quite surprised that this game isn't more expensive to pick up physically. I think I paid somewhere in the region of maybe £8 to £12 for it. I don't know if it's going to go up in price. Obviously I don't want it to, so I'm not going to try and cause a mad rush on it, but it's just one of those games where I'm like, why is this so cheap? Like, it's a delisted game, and like more often than not, delisted titles always shoot up in value. But you're probably interested about the platinum journey and not why it got delisted from the store. It's a 3 out of 10, requires 1 playthrough and takes 15 hours to do as well. And again, this was a pretty fun experience. I know a lot of people didn't really like this game at launch. It reviewed bad. People didn't even know that the game was coming out due to a lack of marketing, and obviously the whole issue with the copyright disputes that they had and the game being pulled didn't bode well for them. But it's actually a really good game. You know, you play through the story, you side with either the good or the bad guys, and the trophy list is also fairly straightforward. One of the bosses towards the end was actually quite tough, but apart from that, it wasn't actually that bad of a game to do.
You fucking bastard. You fucking bastard. Fuck you. It's just stupid. It lines them up where you have to walk to kill it. It's just... How many times have we been within touching distance? The inches matter, chat. The inches fucking matter. Size matters.
A few moments later.
Ah! Yeah, true. Oh my god. No, 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 no. I hate it when they put you in a stun lock and you just lose your way up. Chat, this is actually concerning. Oh wait, come here. Haha, you fucking pussy. Fuck her in the pussy. Fuck me. That was like pulling teeth. Oh my word.
You will need to go back to certain areas in this game to do like alternate pathways in a way, so there's a few options that you can pick, you know, whether it's joining Cyclops and the X-Men or joining Magneto and the Brotherhood. When you make these choices, you kind of need to just lock in and stick with that pathway, whether it's the good or bad one, because there's different choices that you make, and for instance, if you're doing the good playthrough, you're going to want to follow all of the good options that you can do, because there are a couple of missable trophies you could argue related to this. Don't worry though, you can go back and sort of reload things, and then you can do it on the other side and see, you know, the bad version of things and pick up the trophies that you're missing. But it is one of those games where it respects your time, you know, it lets you go back and do these quite easily, you could argue. There's also trophies as you'd expect for leveling up, you know, your powers to the max level and things like that, and also completing X genes and suits. And of course it's a fighting game, so there's a whole bunch of combo related trophies, but again, nothing really too crazy. The collectibles as well are really fun, you could argue. They relate to propaganda pieces, and I don't think you need to collect all of the collectibles in this game. You only need to reach a certain amount, and that's the same for dossiers as well. I think I said that right, I hope I did. But you only need to get 15 of those and 25 pieces of the propaganda. Again, they're fairly straightforward to see in the game, but if not, there are plenty of guides available. And then as well, you need to complete 15 unique challenges in the game, which again, you will find these just hiding in the map. So again, it's not too bad to do, especially if you pull up a guide. You will need to complete the game on the hardest difficulty, which is extreme. And what I would recommend, I know that the guide says that you can do this in one playthrough, but if you do want to enjoy yourself, I'd probably recommend playing the game through on the easy mode first, and it just makes the game a heck of a lot easier doing it through on the second playthrough. So yeah, on the second playthrough, you do carry everything through, which is fantastic and does make the experience a lot easier on the hardest difficulty. I would say it's a cakewalk, but you fight some big dude towards the end of the game, and even on the easy mode, I was actually getting cooked by him a little bit, so I was kind of panicking for this one to get this completed on the hardest difficulty.
It's difficult. It's fun, but it's difficult. Oh my word. Alpha level mutant as well. GG's. GG's. Woo! It says it's a 3 out of 10 on the guide. I don't know if it is actually a 3 out of 10, because that is rough. Like, that could quite easily be a 5 or 6 out of 10. Like, that takes learning to do. Damn.
So yeah, for an action RPG game in the X-Men universe, I thought this was pretty cool. And again, I think it's a bit of a hidden gem. So if you do have a PS3 and can find a physical copy for a reasonable price, I definitely recommend getting this one as well, because it's a 4.1% rarity on PlayStation, which is pretty good.
Oh, we did it. Yes. The Goon Squad. Let's go. Homo Superior. Look at that, being rewarded for being a gooner. Let's go. Platinum trophy, baby. GG's. X-Men Destiny, you have been quite a good game. I enjoyed you. Well done.
Moving on to 2012 then, the year that the world was meant to end, and it's a shame that there wasn't a movie tie-in game for that. As a trophy hunter, I do like to try lots of different games, and I think it's cool to get a certain genre of games on your trophy list to show a little bit of diversity. And by saying that, I've never platinumed a Lego game. I've played a couple of them before, and I've played a lot of them growing up, but I've never actually earned a platinum for a Lego game. So I thought that this challenge would be a good time to change this. So my 2012 game was Lego Lord of the Rings, and please don't cook me for not even watching the original movies before this. It is on my to-do list because this game was awesome, and it was like a nice kind of bite-sized version to get me introduced to the story and things like that. I will be honest though, with this platinum, it is kind of long and scary. Title of your sex tape.
Also the title of your sex tape.
The PS3, as you might know, is not the most reliable console, and before even jumping into this game, I read quite a few horror stories about people's save files being corrupted. Thankfully for me, there weren't any issues with this. So yeah, I guess I dodged a bullet on that one potentially. But for this platinum trophy, there are 49 trophies. It's a 2 out of 10 difficulty. It will require you to play the game through about 2 times, and then it takes around 20 hours as well. So what happens in this Lego game is, as you can imagine, it takes you through the storyline for Lord of the Rings. It takes you through all 3 movies, and it was pretty interesting learning about the movies, because I know that it's quite a critically acclaimed franchise as well, so it was good to kind of understand, you know, all of the pop culture references that have come from this film. There's not really much to report on this game. You just need to collect everything and, you know, play the game to completion. It's a pretty common trope with Lego games that there's areas that you can't reach at the very beginning. So what you'll need to do is you'll have to play through the game at least once, and then by playing through the game once, you'll get, you know, different pieces of equipment or different tools or characters, and they help you reach different areas that you couldn't reach before. It can be kind of daunting to get the 100% on this, so I would recommend watching a collectible stroke 100% guide for this one. But overall, it was a pretty fun game, and I think I kind of got in my head at the beginning of this one about, you know, what happens if the file gets corrupted and things like that. But it wasn't that bad.
And I'm sick and tired of this stupid little system just work, please? Oh my god. I'm holding triangle and it's quick switching. Oh my, this is by far the most excruciating thing I've had to do in this game. I honestly have no words on how you make that jump. Like, you line it up, you think it's like, it's... Oh my god. That was the dumbest thing I've ever done in a game. That was honestly the dumbest thing for a stupid little brick. Like, oh my goodness. Like, I hope you build something. I hope you build me a fucking house with that. Oh, I'm gone.
Are there better LEGO games to platinum? I think there might be. So while I'm not in no rush to play another LEGO game at the moment, I would like to try another one. From what I've heard in the trophy hunting community in my live streams is that LEGO Lord of the Rings is up there with one of the more difficult and kind of tedious in a way in terms of the amount of repetition that you need to do for the platinum. But overall, I think it's interesting and you should check it out for sure.
There we go. I've always been taller and one ring to build them all. GG's, that's the platinum trophy in LEGO Lord of the Rings. What a way to finish it. Let's go! My first ever LEGO platinum as well.
Moving on to 2013 then, and this next game I suffered slight amnesia and kind of forgot myself. I think that this game is criminally underrated, and I'm talking about Remember Me. And yes, that is a game name, by the way. You might have forgotten it even existed. I have covered this in my backlog busting video series as well, so if you do want to see a little bit more on this, you can always check out that video. But the Remember Me Platinum is a 3 out of 10, requires one playthrough and takes around 16 hours to do. And a fun fact about this one, it took me 11 years to get this platinum trophy. I believe this was a PlayStation Plus free game that I claimed. I don't actually have any memory of playing this, so literally I was like, remember me? Remember who? I didn't actually remember anything about this game, so I didn't have a save file to go from either, so I just started right off rip and played through the game from start to finish. This game is a futuristic cyberpunk Paris game where you remix people's memories, and the combat system feels like you're choreographing a punch-based dance routine. And while you are remembering things, have you remembered to like and subscribe? I do have to say, I thoroughly enjoyed this game. I think it was fantastic, and I would urge people to try this one out, as it is, I think, a hidden gem as well on the PlayStation 3. The caveat being that you do need to play the game on the hardest difficulty, which granted can actually be quite a challenge at the start of the game. Oh, get f***ed, man. Nah, you can suck your mum.
A few moments later.
Oh my god, let's go! Oh shit, there's two T's, shit. Oh my god. Oh my god, please. Come on. This was so difficult on hard. I can't stress how hard this was. Like, it took a lot of practice, but let's go. GG's. Fucking pussy.
I struggled quite a lot, but it is a fun learning curve in a way. If you're into Souls games and things like that, don't cook me. I'm not comparing it to those games. It's not that difficult, but it's one of those games where you're learning the combinations of the enemies and you're like, right, okay, I can't do this here. Let me dodge, and then maybe I'll try this combination from my moves to see if it works. So it requires some forward thinking, which I appreciated. It required a little bit of brain power, you know? I've not played brain training since the DS about 15 years ago, so I enjoyed playing this. The combat as well is quite unique, where you can map your fighting combinations to different buttons, which is a feature that I really enjoyed, and it's kind of reminiscent in a way to like the way that the Batman Arkham games play in terms of the fighting. Like each punch feels like it really does pack a punch. The collectibles as well weren't really too bad to get, and they weren't the worst in the world. Again, you can watch through with a guide to find them. And then the miscellaneous trophies that you need to get for this game are, again, pretty interesting and pretty unique, and I think they provide fun challenges which make you explore the game even further. Overall, I thoroughly enjoyed my time with Remember Me. I would recommend checking this one out. Whether you watch somebody play it on YouTube or watching this might have been enough, or maybe you're inspired to pick it up yourself. If you've not played it, give it a shot because it definitely deserves more love than it got. And Remember Me concludes the PS3 era of gaming.
Oh no! I was muted! How long have I been muted for? That was the platinum. Let's go!
So we will now be moving on to the PlayStation 4 era in 2014. I did enjoy moving up to the next generation of gaming because things were a little bit more reliable and were a little bit faster as well. Our first game for 2014 then was a short, stylish, neon chaos infused experience in Infamous First Light. This game is essentially DLC to the infamous Second Son game, which I already had the platinum for. Much like Remember Me, I did previously play Infamous First Light back when it came out when I was younger, but I barely popped any of the major trophies. I think I just played through the game and that was all. I had no save file because I don't know why, but I deleted save files when I was younger, so I had to start fresh on this experience regardless. And you could argue this game is approaching the midway point of the challenge, and it is time to get a little bit deep and serious for a moment. When I was looking at the trophy guide for this game, it did seem kind of daunting for me, and it did actually provoke a feeling that I don't really feel too often, and that's actually anxiety. The platinum for this game is a 4 out of 10. It requires 1 playthrough and 10 hours to complete. I've definitely combated harder games in my time doing YouTube, but I don't know what it was about looking at this trophy list. Maybe it was the way that it was written, but it seemed really challenging in a way, and it seems like it could be silly, but I think it's a valid feeling that I felt. And you know, if anyone else does feel this way, it is okay to feel that way when you're looking at a trophy guide or things like that. So maybe take them with a pinch of salt, because the way that this guide was written, it just wasn't how it played out. It was so much easier than I expected with Infamous. I think the thing that got me was the challenge maps, as it really confused me and I didn't understand what the challenge maps were, and did scare me. Post platinum trophy, I can confirm the game is super easy. I'd say it's probably more a 3 out of 10 than a 4 out of 10. And when you play the game, you naturally level up and you get abilities by leveling up, and then when you complete these challenges and then also do the challenge arena modes, the trophies pop with ease because you're correctly leveled. You know, it's not like it's a really difficult challenge where you're not got the right equipment for things. It's like the game naturally progresses you to where you need to be. I do want to thank my co-host of the Trophy Hoarders podcast, Castromo, for the words of motivation here. Quotation mark, I did it, mate, and it's a piece of pish. You can do it easy. Close quotation mark. After his encouragement, I did actually full send this platinum, and I got it in a fairly good time. I think it took me around maybe 12 hours to do, maybe 8 to 12 hours. It was a lot shorter than the guide recommended as well. And sometimes all you need in trophy hunting is a little bit of encouragement and the nudge to say you can do it, to get you back on track and get you over the line. I think as well, one of the other things for this gaming year of 2014 was I played a lot of the games and also platinumed them already, so I didn't really have much to pick from. It was a bunch of, you know, really difficult games as well if I didn't go with Infamous First Light. So I'm glad that I went back and revisited the title and got the platinum trophy, and I feel like it is quite important to normalize taboo topics while trophy hunting, as we are all human. If you've ever felt this way, I'm sure many of you have. So if you're ever struggling, just remember that you got this, and if you've got any friends in the trophy hunting community, just talk to them and I'm sure they'll be able to uplift you. We've got an amazing Discord as well, so if you ever do need a little bit of motivation, or you know, being spurred on when you're doing a big challenge or grind, or you know, maybe you want to complete this challenge yourself, join the Discord. It's in the description and you'll be able to get carried through and pushed through. Kind of feels like that Spider-Man meme where they're lifting him through the train. Overall, Infamous First Light was a really fun experience, despite me initially kind of panicking and overthinking things and getting way into my head about this and the overall challenge. You play through the game, you enjoy the story, you collect the collectibles, which I have to say are probably some of the easiest you're ever going to see in a game. They're all on the map. The map is really small. It probably takes you about 15 minutes to get all the collectibles. It was perfect.
It was perfect. Perfect.
In terms of the challenges that you need to do, again, they're just going to come from playing the game, and the challenge arenas as well, they kind of feed into those challenges that you need to complete, you know, getting certain types of enemy kills, you know, kills in certain ways, and you will end up doing these naturally by completing those challenge arenas and getting the high scores that are needed. Rest assured, if I can do it, you more than certainly can do it as well. If you've not played Infamous First Light for whatever reason, I definitely recommend checking it out. Whether it's your first game in the franchise or you're looking for a shorter title to play, definitely recommend it, and it's, I would say, an easy platinum to get.
Yeah, here's going to be our next platinum pop in the challenge, everybody. That's the Unleashed Platinum. Oh, sorry, Unleashed Trophy. And then, here we go. Noble Achievement. That is the Platinum Trophy, ladies and germs.
Moving into 2015 then, and this was a game that was on my backlog for quite some time, and that is Life is Strange. I was really hoping to say good things about this game, but I'm the bearer of bad news here. While I'm going to keep this section quick because I don't like this game, Life is Strange is about time travel, friendship, guilt, and photography filters that age like milk. To platinum the game, all you need to do is find every photo collectible in the game and then just finish the game. This does sound really easy on paper, but then you realize you have to sit through around 10 hours of cringe.
I have to take a dump. Are you coming, Max? You hella saved my life.
You hella saved my life. Like, come on, shut the f up. Just say, you saved my life, I'm eternally grateful.
The Life is Strange Platinum is a 1 out of 10, and it takes one playthrough as well, if you couldn't guess already. I do get it, I'm not quite the audience for this game, but crikey, surely Life is Strange fans can admit that some of the dialogue is a bit cringy. I almost let them off about the cringy dialogue because I thought they were young teenagers, but it turns out they're like 17 or 18 in some kind of weird private college, which is like a high school, but not a high school. Anyway, they should be old enough not to be this cringy. This is the kind of dialogue that I would expect from like a 10 to 12 year old. It's really, really bad, and like, I don't know, it feels like the words that they use in the dialogue that they use is the equivalent of just running around and saying 6-7 skibbity riz. Like that is what you're having to deal with.
Ah, skibbity riz, kids.
The biggest gripe of this game is the overuse of the word hella. For instance, one of the characters goes through a traumatic experience and the response is, you hella saved my life. And I really just crashed out at this point. It was so early on in the game as well, and I was just like, I cannot continue playing this, but I hella persevered through this one. I feel like this game was written by parents that wanted to look cool in front of their kids and say, oh look, I'm making a game, kids, this is for you, this is going to be really cool, and it just really didn't land for me. And I think a more legitimate reason for me disliking this game was your choices actually meant nothing. And I've recently, you know, covered Life is Strange in one of my backlog videos, and I get it, people really do love this game, and a lot of the sort of bite back of me disliking this game is, you know, oh, you don't enjoy emotional stories, you just need action, go play Fortnite, things like that.
I can see the journey that you may have taken, right? I'm sure some people really would have loved this, but to me, this entire game just feels like a waste of time. I mean, I knew that potentially going into it, playing another one, but it's just, I don't know, man. Maybe you're meant to get caught up within it a lot more than I did. I think probably the saddest section of the game was like, was it episode 3? Where Chloe was like paralyzed and you could see the toll it was taking on the family and the whole like having to basically kill her dad again. Like that was the saddest bit for me, and that was maybe like 20 minutes of storyline. It's just, yeah, like murder mystery serial killer stuff. It's like there's a lot of good ideas, just fucking awful execution. God damn.
And I play a range of games on the channel. I always have and I always will do. And I just find it when you don't enjoy a game of a slower pace, the instant bite back is, oh, you just enjoy explosions and actions. It's the same with anime and things like that, you know. If you don't like this anime that's slightly more, you know, relaxing and, you know, more of a drama, but you don't like it, people automatically seem to think, oh, it's because there's not enough fights in it. Sometimes things can be bad, you know, just because of the story that it is telling. Going back to the whole choices meaning nothing, the game is just so paradoxical.
It's paradoxical.
And I don't want to go down a rabbit hole of this whole time travel gimmick, but it just doesn't work. Like the time travel, the whole thing that this story is basing itself on doesn't work. There are several loopholes in the game, and I was willing to overlook the poor scripting of the game, but there's just so many flaws and holes in the storyline, I couldn't actually enjoy it for what it was. There were a couple of emotional moments, yeah, fantastic, great. You get towards the end of the game and you think, oh, well, all of those emotional moments that have led up to this just mean absolutely nothing now. For me, I didn't enjoy it. It feels like this is turning into a rant, but I've played Life is Strange True Colors. I felt a very similar way. I just thought that the story was really weak and it just didn't do anything that was unique. It was, you know, the typical tropes that you see in storylines like this. It was very predictable and it was just very cringy with the dialogue as well. It was just written by a bunch of old people trying to be cool. With all of that said, if you do enjoy this franchise, I'm very happy for you, but it is sadly not for me, and it kind of put a damper on this experience because I was wanting to to play games that I enjoyed, and I thought, you know, people really speak of Life is Strange so highly, and yeah, I just didn't enjoy it, which is a shame, but that's okay. Everybody does have different tastes. If you enjoy it, that's awesome. It just didn't do anything for me. I can think of a lot better games that do a similar thing, you know, that are quite chilled out, relaxing games, you know, non-actiony, but have a fantastic storyline. I can think of a lot of games that have like tickled my pickle, but Life is Strange wasn't it.
Well, what if I didn't spend however many hours going for this platinum trophy? This was the biggest bunch of flipping baloney ever. I'm glad it's off of the backlog. I'm glad it's 100%ed, but by golly gosh, that was awful, man. That sucked balls.
Moving into 2016 then, and this was one of the best years on planet Earth. It was a simpler time. There was the 2016 Freshman Cypher that dropped.
Yeah.
And there was also this little masterpiece by Naughty Dog. It's a cinematic, gorgeous experience, and it includes Nathan Drake in his most charming appearance of the gaming franchise of Uncharted, and this was Uncharted 4, of course, for 2016. This trophy list itself is pretty good, and if it's your first time playing the game, I think you'll thoroughly enjoy yourself with it. It's a 4 out of 10 for difficulty, takes 2 playthroughs, and is about 30 hours. Of course, you can complete the game in 1 playthrough, but it will be very difficult because you wouldn't have like the modifiers on from getting all of the collectibles such as unlimited ammo. And I will just say that the difficulty related trophies, they are really difficult. They are quite hard. Crushing mode is absolutely insane, especially the very ending of the game in the shipyard as well. There's an obscene amount of collectibles in this game, which is very painful. I think in total I've probably beaten Uncharted 4 about 5 times now across, you know, the different editions of the games and things like that. So I think my experience is slightly jaded in terms of, you know, getting the collectibles, completing the game with 70% accuracy, speedrunning the game in 6 hours or less for the trophies. I think it's fun if you're doing it for the first time, but when you're doing it more than once, it's not that great to do. But by the end of this platinum experience, it's like Naughty Dog wanted you to hate Nathan Drake in a way with just these requirements. I feel like they could have made it slightly more enjoyable, you could say. And there are actually some multiplayer trophies that you need to get, so I always like to future-proof myself when it comes to games, so make sure you get them before the servers shut down, if they ever do. I'm not saying that they will shut down, you know, there's no scheduled shutdown for the servers, but you never know with games that are getting gradually older. And the online trophies are fairly easy to get. I think it takes around 1 hour to do, and it is based on your skill. So the people that I was being matched up against were absolute professionals in every game, and it was quite humbling. But I guess if you're quite good at Uncharted 4 multiplayer, maybe you'll get some of the trophies a lot quicker. And if you do fancy the coward's way out for this platinum, there is actually a save file glitch that you can do to help with some of the harder trophies as well. But you didn't hear that from me.
Finally, one last time. That is the last time I'm going to be playing Uncharted 4. I've played this like 4 or 5 times.
Moving into 2017 then, and our game of choice here, I linked up with good friend and co-host of the Trophy Hoarders podcast, Nostromo. We really put our friendship to the test with this co-op puzzle game called We Were Here, and I'm to the understanding that there's a lot more of these games in this franchise, so I'm definitely excited to try some of them in the future, and this entire platinum depends on your ability to communicate clearly, which means failure is almost guaranteed for us.
What's
Oh, he's sitting watching the show? My apologies, it's his first time. Oh. Yeah, you move the horse. Does it mind that pawn that you just moved for them?
Oh, I think I've died there. Froze to death.
I am froze to death.
Oh well.
Our communication peaked in this game when we were describing symbols as, well, male genitals. You can just see in this clip.
And then the last one's like a wee pecker, shooting a load.
I think I might know which one looks like the wiener.
Oh no, we got it wrong.
Oh no, mate. Apparently my knob looking is wrong. Oh, mate, I
Can
keep...
Leon pick out the knob?
Wait.
In the dark with only his hands.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it looks like. There we go.
Hey, there we go. I had to double check.
Nice. Knob stream.
When we finally did beat the game, the platinum felt like a marriage certificate with the amount of bonding that this took, especially with Nostromo watching TikTok while I'm trying to figure out how to do a puzzle. The platinum trophy is a 2 out of 10. It requires 2 playthroughs as you need to experience the game from both characters' perspectives, and it takes around 5 hours to do.
Oh, hello.
Hey.
Wait a minute.
Thanks, buddy.
Stay behind all
Stepped
alone.
back into the freezing cold, I wondered, was there another way?
He left me. The friendship's
Was this
broken.
sacrifice necessary? Yes, it was. I've got a dog. I need to get him to mate. See you later.
All right,
Last
you
time, sorry,
stand.
I'm sorry about last time. You know,
That's
it's,
okay.
it's,
If you stand there, mate, something really good happens.
oh, nice. Am I allowed to? Do I need to close my eyes?
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
hey,
Wait,
where you
wait.
going? Hey.
Wait, no. Wait. Okay, right. Let's All right, you have to crouch and like slowly turn with your eyes closed. All right.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, there we go. All right, then when I
Doing
come
the world's
back, I want you
slowest
to
360.
hold your hand out for me.
Right.
All right, open your eyes.
It's went all black.
Sorry, buddy. Had to be done.
I do think if you watched a guide on this one, you could probably do it a lot quicker, but that definitely does take the fun out of the experience for this game. We Were Here was a great bite-sized experience and platinum trophy, and I'm definitely looking forward to trying out some more games in the future.
Can I have a happy ending, please, sir?
That's what I'm here for.
Alrighty, the Curse of Castle Rock. Let's go, baby. What a lovely experience. Thank you, friend.
Oh, good brother.
Next up for 2018 was a game that I was actually unsure about playing, as I didn't know if it would be for me, and I'm glad to say that I thoroughly enjoyed my choice for this year, and this game emotionally broke me. It was beautiful, and that was 1111 Memories Retold. This game is set during World War I and is told through oil paint visuals, which sounds kind of pretentious, but it works perfectly. You play as both sides of the war, and the story slowly crushes your soul in the most beautiful way possible. The Platinum Trophy is estimated to be a 3 out of 10, one playthrough is needed, and takes around 16 hours. The trophy list for this game isn't that bad. You'll need to gather the collectibles, there's some missable trophies you'll need to do, and then you'll need to complete the several endings that this game has to offer. I think this is my only critique of the game, is that there's 7 endings, which means you need to reload the last chapter 7 different times, which kind of feels a little bit excessive, and the endings are actually split into Branch A and Branch B, and for Branch A, that only has 2 endings that you can achieve, while Branch B has 5 different endings that you can achieve. It felt a little bit imbalanced, if you ask me, to have more endings for one side of the story than the other, but despite this, I still really enjoyed my time with the game and would recommend checking this one out.
Wow, what a game and what a Platinum Trophy experience. That was one of a kind, really. That was pretty good.
Moving into 2019, and I really do hate myself for doing this one low-key, as I'm no stranger to playing children's games, especially if there's an ultra-rare platinum trophy up for grabs. This game has a 0.9% rarity, is a 2 out of 10, I would argue it's a 1 out of 10. It takes one playthrough and is around 3 hours to complete, and the game of choice is Race with Ryan. And maybe he could teach me a thing or two about YouTube, as this kid is an internet sensation, which in turn landed him his own game. This game is essentially a Mario Kart clone, and I've not played any other kart racing games apart from Mario Kart, but I can imagine they'd probably all feel very similar in a way, and the game itself isn't that bad, taking it for what it is. I didn't mind spending my time on this one and kind of just did it in stages between other games that I was playing. The platinum itself takes around 3 hours to get, as I said, and the hardest thing that you'll need to do is fight the boredom of how repetitive the game can be. So I would advise doing a few races and then just moving on to something else and coming back, maybe the next day. The trophy list explains itself, and being a kids game, you can imagine the difficulty is fairly easy. You'll need to beat a bunch of the courses in this game on hard difficulty, but they're not too hard, it's a kids game. And then you also need to drift for a certain amount of time and then also spend a certain amount of time racing. It is really simple to get this platinum trophy, and it's an ultra rare as well. Of course, get the platinum at your own risk, because you'll probably be mocked if anybody does review your trophy list for having a kiddie game on your trophy list, especially if you don't have any kids.
Oh, Peppa Pig. Twice. 1 out of 10. 1 playthrough. 1 hour. I mean, what am I on about? Why did I say he auto-popped it? It's... Peppa Pig? Why?
And there we have it, a grown adult earning the Race with Ryan Platinum Trophy. I thought having Peppa Pig and My Little Pony was bad, but I think I've reached a whole new level of shame.
Oh my
You
darling.
really are
3 hours. There we go. The Toy King. Let's go, Ryan. Woo! Thankfully, I've redeemed myself with 2020 though, as this game sees another peak year of gaming. And I'm very surprised that I had never played this game before, but I had good reason not to. My game choice was The Last of Us Part 2, and there will be some slight spoilers ahead. So where do I begin with this game? Well, let's rewind all the way back to 2020 itself, when some early gameplay of the game was leaked, showing Joel's brutal death. I saw this major spoiler, and knowing a character that I truly loved had died right near the beginning, I didn't really have much interest in playing the game not as Joel. Fast forward to the year 2025, where my frontal lobe had finally developed, I was willing to give this game a shot, as it was quite highly rated everywhere you look. I'm glad that I never played this back in the day, because I don't think I would have appreciated it as much as I did now as an adult. There's a lot of key themes in this game that would have gone straight over my head. The brutal nature of this game, the blurring of the lines between right and wrong, and the constant question of, is revenge even worth it? I know I've mentioned Joel's death, but this game seriously has a lot more packed into it, and I would encourage you to play it and experience the journey for yourself. The platinum trophy, thankfully for this game, is straightforward. It's a 3 out of 10, requires 2 playthroughs, but more like 1.5 playthroughs, I'll explain in a moment, and takes an estimated 35 hours. So the reason why I say it takes about 1.5 playthroughs is that you'll need to play through the game once you've finished it on the New Game Plus to obtain all of the character skills and weapon upgrades. And I do really dislike when developers add in New Game Plus related trophies, or you can't get collectibles in your first run or upgrade everything in your first run. It just makes you play the game again, and I don't really think it adds much to it personally, in my opinion. I do know post-launch there has been a lot of DLC added to the game, and there's like a new chronological order mode that you could do, but I'm unsure how getting these levels would be affected in those modes. Everything else though, thankfully, bar those 2 trophies I mentioned, are obtainable in the first playthrough. Very similar to Uncharted in a way, a lot of these trophies are just related to completing the game and collectible milestones, and also upgrade milestones. There's nothing really special about this trophy list, but of course the game itself is fantastic, and if you've somehow not played it, I definitely recommend this one. Every last one of them. There we go. That is the platinum trophy for The Last of Us Part 2. What a fantastic little game that was. Moving on to 2021 then, and it turns out I did a lot of gaming in this year. Not only that, but I obtained several platinums for potential game candidates of this year. And it made it kind of difficult when trying to find what game to actually play for 2021. One game that I didn't play, however, was It Takes Two. And most trophy hunters will be familiar with this one, as when I review my subscribers' platinum trophy lists on livestream, this game always seems to pop up. Just a little side plug here, if you would like your platinum trophy list reviewed, you can join my Discord in the description, or you can post your profile in the comments and I can add it to the waiting area. I do live stream platinum trophy lists on a weekly basis, so if you like watching other people's lists be reviewed to get inspired of what to play next, or want me to take a look at your list, then definitely get involved. Anyway, back to It Takes Two. The platinum trophy wasn't actually that hard for this game. It's a 3 out of 10, requires 1 playthrough, and takes about 15 hours. And I was pleasantly surprised that this game was longer than expected. In all honesty, I thought it was going to be maybe an 8-hour platinum. It went over that, which was great. I found this game to be the perfect mix of fun and chaos, and I shared this experience with 2 people. Originally, I started this game off with my girlfriend, but unfortunately, due to our schedules not aligning and the trophy hunting duty calling, we actually filed for a divorce. Right up. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2.
That one.
I was doing a countdown. You just full send. 3, 2, 1, go. 3, 2, 1, go. Nice. And I substituted her in for a member of the channel, True. Shout out to you, buddy. Thank you very much. And also, while I'm here talking about channel members, if you do want to play with me in a non-weird way, if you'd like to play video games with me, then members do get exclusive opportunities to play games with me. And there are a lot of members-only videos and cool emojis that you can get, and your own area in the Discord. And thank you to all of the members on screen right now that consistently support the channel. You're absolutely fucking massive legends, and I couldn't thank you enough for taking
taking the time out of your day to become a member, and also the money as well to support, because it's honestly insane, and people don't need to get memberships and things like that. And I try to give back as much as I can, and that's why I do run these gaming sessions as well. So hopefully members, you enjoy your memberships, and I appreciate all of the support you do. Anywho, me and True actually really enjoyed this experience, and I did also enjoy the experience with my girlfriend before we had to substitute her out. It Takes Two was a really fun experience, and it was constantly surprising us how much this game would continue to get wackier and weirder with all of its level design. It was super unique, and I loved every second of it. I've still not played Split Fiction, so I'm really excited to try that out at some point, and I will definitely not substitute my girlfriend for a channel member when I play that game. But for this platinum trophy, it is fairly straightforward. You can just play through the game normally, and then you can head back to the specific chapters to clean up any miscellaneous trophies and also get the mini games you might have missed. I do remember trying to platform to the top of a tower for a trophy, and this was probably the hardest trophy for me to get, just because I'm quite bad at platforming.
And jump.
Oh man.
True absolutely smashed this out of the park and made it to the top and was just waiting there for me, so thank you for waiting. And we did get the trophy for reaching the top of that tower. But yeah, it was a very fun experience overall with this game, and it just kept surprising me. So if you've somehow not played It Takes Two, it's definitely worth checking out.
And power couple. Let's go.
Woo! But no.
Now moving on to my game for 2022, and this one hits quite hard. I really wasn't expecting to get moved by this game the way that I did. For this game, you play as a mother fox trying to protect her cubs from a dying world. The game I'm talking about is Endling Extinction is Forever. This game is a 3 out of 10 difficulty, requires 1 playthrough, and can take up to 6 hours to get. To get the platinum trophy, the game asks you to see every path, every fate, and every heartbreak. By the end, I was almost in tears as I claimed my platinum trophy. This game is haunting whilst also being beautiful. The platinum trophy for this game is fairly straightforward and can be solved easily with a guide. I'd however recommend playing this game through blind, as playing with a guide really does kind of just ruin the emotional impact this game has in the overall experience. And it's a perfect example of how indie games can emotionally destroy you in 3 hours or less. I do love myself a good indie game. I don't want to say any more about it, just check it out. It looks beautiful, it plays really well, and once you've played it through and enjoyed yourself with the game, you can just boot up a new save file and then just watch a video guide. I think you can probably clean the game up in under an hour. Original idea from Javier. Oh my, I mean, it's a marvelous game. It's an absolutely marvelous game, but oh, my heartstrings. Oh, that is the platinum trophy for Endling. Let's go. Moving on to 2023 then, and the pain returns with a sequel that somehow feels like a DLC for a game that was already DLC. I've covered this game on my channel already as a video, so if you are interested on seeing the full extent of my suffering, be sure to check it out when you're done from here. My game of choice for 2023 was Modern Warfare 3 2023. Bit of a mouthful there. While the platinum list is short, it's not merciful even by 1 bit. It is a 6 out of 10 difficulty and is estimated to take around 60 hours to platinum and is a 0.4% rarity. You'll need to suffer through open world missions searching for a bunch of collectibles and then suffer through a nothing campaign. And then if that wasn't bad enough, you'll need to kill 50,000 zombies, which will take you around 35 hours to complete. I really can't recommend this game, but I can recommend that you watch my video covering this video in full. Despite the torture of this game, I could see the finish line closing in for this challenge with only 2 more years to go. Elevator out of order, that's for getting to the high rise in under 45 seconds, and the soldier's purpose. There we go, there is the platinum trophy, everybody. Whew. I am so happy to be done with Modern Warfare 3. Damn. Moving on to 2024 then was an oil rig horror game that oozes atmosphere and panic. A claustrophobic and cinematic experience, my game selection was Still Wakes the Deep. And luckily for PlayStation Plus members as of recording this video, I believe that this game should be free in the PlayStation Plus library, so definitely check it out. Still Wakes the Deep was an interesting horror game which leans into Lovecraftian horror heavily, a genre of horror that I wasn't that familiar with. And once again, this is one of those games where you'll need to experience it yourself, alone, and preferably in a dark room. The Platinum Trophy you probably are wondering about, that is a 3 out of 10, requires 2 playthroughs and can be done in 10 hours, and is a 2.9% rarity as well. Of course, if you want to break the immersion and follow a collectible guide and a 100% walkthrough, you can probably get the Platinum in maybe 3 or 4 hours and just run through everything in one go, but I wouldn't recommend that. The trophies that you'll need to get are mostly collectible related and also for exploring the game, which personally aren't my favourite types of trophies, but with this game I will let that slide as the overall experience was really fun. The game as a whole was pretty good, from great sound design to fun gameplay, and the overall story was pretty enjoyable. Again, your best shot of getting this Platinum easily is to watch along with a video guide after your initial playthrough, as there's a few things that aren't really that obvious. One thing to call out is to ensure that you don't miss any collectibles, and there is actually a body at the very end of the game which counts towards a group of collectibles. This body that you need to find is right at the end of the game and can be found on the right hand side as seen in my clip here. Anyways, I really enjoyed Still Wakes the Deep, and you should probably check it out as well because it is a pretty interesting horror game.
Still Wakes the Deep.
Complete the game. Bea an Corn Fin Amach. Complete the game in Scottish Gaelic. That was definitely an interesting trophy. Walking Sim. Complete the game without sprinting. And Roughneck, the Platinum Trophy for Still Wakes the Deep. Let's go! What's the rarity? 5% rarity. So I think that was actually slightly rarer. But I think it was 4.9 when I may have started this challenge. So I think I am responsible for that going up to 5%. I'm so sorry, everybody. And just like that, we are approaching our final game of this challenge. And if you have enjoyed this challenge and you enjoy platinum and trophy hunting content, be sure to make sure you've liked the video and you're also subscribed to the channel and what challenges you'd like to see me attempt next. But back to the final game for the year of 2025, the game that ends the challenge, a bittersweet moment in all honesty, and there have been some great games this year. Some of the games I've already played and platinumed, which void them from this list, such as Mind's Eye, absolutely game of the year candidate that. Like, look at this. Honestly, you think you can release a... You think that you can release a game like this and try and charge full price? You're honestly smoking pesto, lads and ladies. You're smoking absolute pesto. You're getting sacked in the morning. We love this game. We love... We broken the game already. And there were a bunch of games that I could have potentially picked for this segment, and I did think about playing Death Stranding 2, and I did really consider it. You know, I was playing Demon Slayer 2, I was playing Claire Expedition 33. There was a whole bunch of good games to select, but the game that I picked up for this actually really shocked me in a fantastic way. And this game was Dispatch. And for those that haven't seen much about this game, let me enlighten you about this amazing experience. And it's, for me personally, my game of the year for 2025. This game was created by ex-Telltale and Ubisoft devs, and you can really tell the OG Telltale feel that this game has, such as The Walking Dead. It sounds so stupid, but this game just captured everything right with the older Telltale games that made them so good. It felt like I was being transported back to a time when I earned my very first platinum trophy with the season 1 of The Walking Dead Telltale, and I don't normally fall into nostalgia. I think it's a bit of a scam and a made up thing, but this is one of the rare few times that nostalgia has got me good, and it's enhanced this experience even more despite it being a completely different game and its own thing. So this game was really cool. Again, going back to the old Telltale structure, I believe they'd release games like every month or every few weeks or something like that. So you'd play episode 1, you'd have to wait, then you'd buy episode 2 and so on. This game came out weekly, so it was just reminiscent of these older titles. The game flows so well, and it felt like I was watching an anime almost for the most part. The game was really seamless and then integrated, you know, your choices or the slight combat things that you needed to do in the game perfectly. This game you'll see you play as Robert Robertson, which is a great name by the way, and you are a dispatcher for superheroes. So outside of the story sections, the gameplay loop will see you sending different superheroes to fight different crimes. It's fairly easy, but you'll need to make sure that you send the right superhero to the job to ensure a success. Every decision matters in this game, every second counts, and in true Telltale-like fashion, there are a couple of different endings that you can get. While I'm going to remain mostly spoiler-free for this, I'll just highlight my key choices for my first playthrough and the trophies that I earned. So I actually formed a relationship with Blonde Blazer, and I was a successful mentor to Invisigirl. And then when it came to the main villain of the game, I did actually give him what he deserved. I know it might be kind of dark, but I always play the game as a good guy, and I wanted to explore a different path, and I didn't actually like it. I take it back. While I had a fantastic time with this game and earned all of the other trophies related to replaying the game with ease, I also had genuine curiosity on how the other storylines worked out. However, there was one trophy that was blocking me and countless others from the Platinum Trophy, and if you've played this game, you might know what I'm about to say. The Hacked by Robert trophy was bugged, making the Platinum Trophy completely unobtainable for a considerable amount of time. And by that I mean you couldn't get the Platinum for about maybe a week and a half after all of the game came out. So for this trophy, you will need to complete all of the hacking mini games without failing, and there's quite a lot of these, and some of them can even be missable. But thankfully, a week after the final episode dropped, we did actually get a patch to make it obtainable. As you can imagine, for trophy hunters worldwide, this was a little bit frustrating as we didn't know what was wrong. Were we missing a step? Was it bugged? Was there a hidden one that we haven't done? Does it have to be done across different playthroughs? The trophy hunting community was really left in limbo for this week, and having this game on the last game of my challenge, I was quite keen to finish this game as soon as possible to start working on making this video. But thankfully the devs did acknowledge it, and they said that they were working on a patch, and they did actually turn it around pretty quickly. Me personally, I was unsure what hacks that I may or may not have missed, so in the week that I was waiting for the developers to fix the game, what I ended up doing was using this opportunity to play through the different storyline options available to earn the trophies that I needed, and also made sure that I completed every hack possible. There were some amazing users on PlayStation profiles, Reddit, and also the Steam community that created a list of known hacks that you could do in the game. So what I did was I took all of the hacks that I knew of and obviously cross-referenced them with the list that was given here, and then every time I completed one of the hacks I checked it off. And then we fast forward to when the patch went live, and all I needed to do was continue the brand new storyline that I was playing on, and I knew that I had all of the hacks up until the end of the game. And with that, the Platinum Trophy was finally mine. Yes! Yes! There we go, Hacked by Robert. Let's go! Come on. Thank goodness. Dispatch Platinum done. That has been a Platinum from every single year the Platinum Trophy was available. Oh my god, I think it's taken me like 26 hours to get this Platinum. I've loved this game, but that bug trophy, honestly, not knowing what to do, you know, what was kind of frustrating, but, you know, 25 hours, fantastic game. GG's. 18 years, 18 games, and 18 Platinum Trophies. This wasn't just a challenge, this was a time capsule of gaming evolution. From the PlayStation 3's delayed trophy pops to the PlayStation 5's ultra fast loading times, I've seen it all. Would I recommend it? That's tough to say. I've loved every second of this challenge, but it was quite taxing on me and my mental health at times. If this challenge tickles your pickle, definitely go for it, but don't put too much pressure on yourself to rush through it. I'm sure that you have a bunch of different games at your disposal than I did, which could also make your experience better or worse. But the big question, will I do it again? Well, yeah, I probably will, but only if this video gets 1,000 likes. And I'll do a follow-up on some of the years that I've missed out on, as technically speaking, on the PlayStation Premium package, you can get games that came out in the 90s and early 2000s, like the original Resident Evil games and Tomb Raiders, things like that. So if you do want to see a part 2 follow-up of me getting the years that I missed out, then definitely consider dropping a like and letting me know down in the comments. Of course, if you do want to see more of the pain behind some of these games, there are full Platinum videos videos on the channel already, with more being edited and uploaded over time. If you've enjoyed watching me lose my mind over shiny digital trophies, then you are in the right place. I do stream all of my games exclusively on YouTube most nights of the week, and make sure to subscribe with those notifications on to come and say hello in a stream. With all of that said, thank you so much for watching this video, and be sure to let me know what your favorite game of this challenge was, and I will catch you all on the next one. Take it easy.
Oh yes, let's go. Profiles. Oh, blah. Finally. Would I have a happy ending, please, sir? That has been a platinum from every single year